Starting in the 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to I prefer the US soundtrack of this stage.
Obligatory water level, enough said.
Obligatory water level where... What the hell did you... Where the hell did you two do this video? This is like the crunchiest I've ever seen this game.
Beautiful.
Like,
Not its end. Better than Sonic Mania.
It's, yeah, better than Sonic Mania, but this has given me like screen crunch levels of Sonic Genesis ports on the GBA.
Don't mind that.
You should turn off your vibrate.
Blame Tyler.
Oh, so Tyler's texting you now.
Yes.
So, teleportation, yeah, skibbity-doop bop. But, what do you honestly think of this game?
It's... I like the concepts. I just don't think the execution was good, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm
like,
going...
For its time, like, yeah, it was, you know, it's understandable. But, looking back at it, designing the game more vertically than horizontally was to a detriment.
Okay. I will say that I have a bit of nostalgia-shaded glasses because this is actually the first classic Sonic game I've played.
The first one I remember playing is Knuckles, just...
Because I was introduced to this by renting the Gems collection on the GameCube from the video store that we still have somehow.
Yeah,
they
somehow have a video.
Brick and mortar video rental stores still exist. They're just kind of rare. Like, they have a decent selection of Switch games now, actually, that you can rent out.
Yeah, and the DS games are now shovelware.
Yeah, all the DS games that they have left on the shelves are shovelware. Noah bought the rest of the Wii games the good Wii games that they had, and Poke Park, even though he bought Poke Park. He bought that because he was like, oh yeah, that popped up because for some reason my capture card really likes doing this thing called AV desync, and I can explain that a little bit after I'm done talking about the video store. But
simply put, the video and audio are desync.
Yeah, it's what it says on the tin. But I can technically explain it. Also, nice speed trap, but at least that's what I call those. But,
back to the story?
Yeah, Noah bought all of the good games. He bought Mario Sports Mix, which that was made by Square Enix for some reason. He bought...
I think he left Kirby's Epic Yarn, though.
He did leave Kirby's Epic Yarn because he thinks the game is trash.
It's a good game.
As
someone who rented it from there, it's a good game.
He
can't
bought...
run on the Wii anymore, but it's a good game. Well, it's getting a 3DS release for some reason, but...
Because the Wii is dead. But,
Well, it's not dead. The Wii U is dead. The Wii is still freaking alive.
The Wii will die tomorrow.
As long as there's Just Dance, there will be a Wii. No joke on that, by the way.
But, so yeah, he bought Poke Park because his reasoning behind it was, this is gonna get expensive one day as a collector's item. That's the only reason why Noah has like a quarter of the stuff that he does have, is because he buys it cheap now because he thinks that it'll be rare and expensive in the future.
Yeah, that's... Well, the thing is, Poke Park's about 10 years old now. I think Poke Park 2 is closer. You know?
Everything...
It would be, like, a couple years, actually. I don't know.
Yeah.
So y'all like Labyrinth?
Oh yeah, Labyrinth Zone. Except for just get the invincibility there and just cheese this section. It's this one isn't that hard. He only takes one hit to die, and it's just a lot of dodging and bouncing. Thought the pinball level was over.
Yeah. No. Now he has a literal bubble shield.
Sonic Team.
Literally.
Yeah. Sonic Team America was taking notes. Yeah, because So,
Was it STI that made 3? Yeah, it was. Oh my.
yeah, because 2 was made. Was 2 the American project or the Japanese project?
You
Because
realize there's 2 soundtracks to this game for a reason, right?
yeah, but 2 and
This was the
CD.
Japanese project. 2
Oh,
was the American.
so okay, then yeah, 2 is the Japanese project. Well, but yeah, okay.
No, this was the Japanese. 2 was the American.
So yeah, 2 was being made by the American branch,
STI.
while this was made by the Japanese branch. Got it.
Yeah.
So that means my joke is valid. Sonic Team America was taking notes.
Yes. Well, actually, it was.
Well, the Sega Technical Institute.
But yeah, semantics. Semantics. Also,
The American branch.
The Americans. Enough
Yes.
said. Blame the Americans. Actually no. I never got to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles as a combined package
Oh yeah.
because they don't want to re-release it in that form.
Sega hates Sonic 3 right now for some reason. I think it's because of Michael Jackson, but yeah, that's very much a toss-up. That's the only theory that's been going around right now.
Yeah.
Sega
Well, I
wants
mean,
nothing to
they
do
already
with the.
They already removed most of the traces of Jackson's work in like 3 original, and none of it got into Knuckles.
Yeah, and then there's the PC port of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which just changes the tracks entirely.
Well, I mean, those are the tracks that had the most potential to be like problematic in terms of Jackson.
But
Rip both times.
yeah. Even though the more sensible theory with Sonic 3 and Knuckles PC port is that those tracks all used samples, things that computers with like sound cards couldn't easily do that well, because the Genesis had special hardware and they were trying to make a game for, you know, generic hardware.
Yeah.
So that's probably why the song was changed completely. But oh well.
But you could have gone with the commands. I mean, it wouldn't be as good, but you wouldn't have butchered an otherwise really good soundtrack.
Oh well.
But I mean, it is an interesting piece of useless history. So.
Yeah. I remember that there was like an entire like YouTube like documentary length video based on, you know, Jackson's involvement with Sonic 3.
Yeah. There's also like one that I watched recently that's like the entire history of Sonic 3 up to its release.
Yeah.
Including like all of the involvement of Jackson and like why they went.
And even if it did happen, well, do we know that it did happen in the first place?
It's we basically know due to how like, well, I mean, I'm trying to remember from the video. Well, I mean, like, obviously, like, the idea is that Jackson was working on Moonwalker at the time.
Ah, okay.
Notice that a Sonic game was being made.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think it was Sonic 1. I don't know. I don't remember that video. But basically, the idea was he was already getting used to the like audio,
Sega sound,
hardware.
Genesis sound chip.
The sound chip, and like the sound of that with his own music, and thought, you know, maybe we could work on something later on.
Okay.
Or something.
I mean, I'm getting the gist of what you're saying though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And like from there, the involvement went into the third Sonic game when they needed the musics.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Quartz Quadrant.
Yeah. Okay.
This one's a very linear level because the easiest way to get the robot generators is just stay on the floor and know where to go. It's actually, I think in that area, to get to the next area.
You literally just got it.
Yeah,
You
you just
literally
have.
got it for going there.
Yeah, you just have to follow the way that the stage wants you to go, and it'll take you to them. I think the first stage is a teeny bit out of the way, but fine by
Second
me.
stage, you literally just jumped up a thing and it just smacked you into it. It's fine.
Yeah, that one. I think that's actually how you get past that section if you want to take the high path. So
Yeah.
it literally just brings you to it.
Just like, we're lazy today.
Yeah. Quartz Quadrant is one of the more easier ones in terms of generator locations. This is the easiest special stage, but I keep on screwing it up because there's a way to practically do this stage in 8 seconds. It's a very easy pattern. It's just, and I did it once accidentally when I was like, what year did this release came out?
I want to say 11, 12.
I think it was 11. So that means I was probably like 12, 13 when I was playing this, you know, the re-release. And in time attack mode, I got like 8 seconds on this stage because I got like the perfect cycle on accident. And technically, going by time attack mode, if you're just going for like a speed run of this game, only tracking by in-game time, this game can take you less than 25 minutes.
Yeah. And most Sonic speedruns do take on, like, for RTA, it's like, it is in-game timer.
Yeah. Well,
Because of load.
Yeah. The thing is that...
Well, at least in Sonic 2, it's the points tally.
Yeah, for Sonic 2, it's the point tally that takes forever. So that's why whenever Sonic... Yeah, at least classic Sonic ones are done, they go by IGT. But if it's like a race or like something done in a marathon, like, you know, GDQ, then they do RL time. But,
RTA. And that's where a bit more strategy comes in with delaying your in-game time to bypass the threshold for...
Yeah. So you can complete that level in 30 seconds, but, oh yeah, I was gonna
cost you a lot more time.
Yeah, and I was also gonna talk about AVD sync. Thank you for the words. Thank you, past Levi, for reminding me about how my capture card sucks sometimes. But, yeah. So, yeah, but going just by in-game, individual level, literally less than 25 minutes. It's nuts. But now talking about the technical specifications at the end of the part, which means this part's going to go on for a little bit longer, but let me try and just condense it. What happens when AV desync happens is that you're throwing so much information at the capture card where it cannot physically capture it all in the amount of time that it cannot capture 30 frames a second. Because, you know, if you use any piece of technology for an extended period of time, it gets hot and it slows down. But a video signal ain't gonna slow down. So what a capture card has to do to make sure it doesn't blow up or burst into flames, it needs to drop frames. But the problem is that my capture card isn't smart enough to drop frames correctly. So instead of dropping frames and just pasting in the last one to make it look like a judder, it just gets rid of the frame. So that means some seconds, there are only like 59, 58 frames in a second. But when you pile that back, yeah, and that adds up, and then once you pile that back into a video, Vegas just takes it and it's like, unify. So that means it gives each frame of audio 60 frames of video. But even though it gives each second frame of audio 60 frames of video, but when you only have technical real frames with like 58, 59, and 58, the video starts going on, well, no, the audio starts going on longer than what you have for video.
Basically, the video is shorter than the audio.
Yes, and and there's no real way to fix it. Unless if you have a perfect eye and know exactly when the frame drops. And that requires you to scrub each frame of a video. And also know pixel measurements, how fast the character is going. So sometimes it isn't even worth it and you have to re-record. Or you can do what we did in part 3, which we'll see you in, and we'll see you whenever the next video loads.
Yeah.
Yay!